These are the things that no one else will show you when it comes to Flores. We'll be going over some things that you may or may not have already seen, as well as different ways that his drone actually interacts with the environment. But before we get into that, I really have to go over the most important part about this drone. In this clip, you'll see that I'm driving the drone up the wall, I attach myself to the roof, and then it actually destroys the shield that was in the attic. The reason that you can do this, as well as actually take out mute jammers, is because the radius of the explosion is 3.5 meters. So if an object is not obscured by a hard surface, it's going to be taken out as long as it's in that radius. So here is probably the most common thing that you'll see when it comes to Flores tricks. So as long as you disengage from the drone and you don't detonate it, it's just going to continue going forward. So you can either pick it up or use it as bait, like in this clip. What you would want to do in this situation is let the drone go forward, and then you'd expect that someone's going to be pre-aiming it or looking at it. So peek alongside the drone and you'll be able to get a free pick, hopefully. We're also going to get another really common Flores trick out of the way with this one. So if you do melee holes, you can actually drive the drone up through these as well. We definitely want to limit our exposure when doing this kind of thing, so I'm going to show you a much better way to do this too. Instead of walking all the way into a building and, doing the punch holes, what we could do instead is actually just shoot out the first surface of the wall, create a little hole that way. So you can do this from a distance, obviously. Then you can just simply drive the Flores drone into the wall here and then jump again. This is a great way to affect places that don't really have any like ledges or shelves or anything that you can jump on. So this next clip on Outback really showcases how much potential this particular trick has. So check this out. There's no shelves, there's nothing that you can really reliably jump up on. And not to mention, the ceilings are actually really high in this area too. So as you can see, I've shot out two separate portions of the wall. I make sure that I'm safe, and then you can just drive it up in these holes. It goes all the way to the ceiling, and this spot in particular, the site is right above, so I'll have to run through a different map, maybe Villa. I'm sure there's tons of different places with really high ceilings that you can do this on too. But next, let's go ahead and actually just use the environment as it is to affect a really commonly contested spot. Where we're trying to hit is actually the default mirror that you'll typically see in Logi, which is right above kitchen, right where I'm at here. Because there isn't really a reliable way to just do it from kitchen itself, what I do is bust out the window, jump up, wait for the timer to recharge, jump on the shelves here, face into the wall so that the timer can recharge, and then jump up again, attach myself to the roof, and if done properly, then you've successfully pushed them off the mirror and opened up a lot of room for your team. In that clip, you'll definitely notice that I used walls to allow myself to reset the timer. So if there isn't a wall, what you can actually do is drive your drone forward and then backwards, or actually just spin in place until that timer recharges. So this is a perfect example of that. In this clip, we're affecting another high traffic area, so this is going to hit the green box where you'll typically find people defending. So if you wanted to help your team push through construction to the right here, then this would be the perfect thing to practice. I will admit, this is not the easiest thing to do, so obviously sometimes the first one is not going to hit perfectly or exactly the way you want it to, but I promise as long as you keep your eye on that timer, this is going to work like 90% of the time. So make sure that you practice these kinds of things instead of just driving it mindlessly into a stack of barbed wire on some random stairwell, because this drone is capable of a lot more than just that. Now what we'll be looking at here is the different types of things on each map that you can jump up. So you'll notice there's a little ledge on the wall. You can jump up on that, and then you can also jump yourself onto the painting. On certain maps at the top of the roof, there is a little wedge that will actually block the explosion from going through fully. You'll see in just a moment here. What you can do to prevent this is jump and twist your drone slightly so that it actually attaches a little further away from that lip. So that way the explosion actually goes around the corner instead of just directly into it. This is actually the perfect example. Like, you can see the smoke go through, but it doesn't really do that much damage. It doesn't break the floor. Then what you'll see me do here is exactly what I just said. I just twist my drone a little bit, adjust the trajectory, and then jump and attach myself a little further in. And actually, if your sensitivity is high enough, you could do a full 180 and get it even further. By the way, you can do this entire drone route from the laundry drone hole, so if you don't want to start this from Red Hallway, just go through the drone hole. Now we're going to close things out on Chalet, so I just want to show you like basically everything in here you can traverse with the drone. You can do the window frame, you can do the shelving units, you can do the painting, you can do the light switches. Just about anything in this room you can climb up. So keep that in mind when you're on a different map. Just take a look around and see if there's anything similar. You can probably drive up it. Again, the most important thing to keep in mind when doing any of this is always keep your eye on that timer. The moment that you drive yourself into the wall or you're spinning around, as long as that resets, you're going to be able to jump and you'll be able to go even higher. If you're having trouble with any of this, or if you want to see a different route on a different map, just let me know in the comments below. If you did make it this far, I really appreciate you watching this. Thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you did. I have so much more on the way, and I'm only just getting started. I'm still learning every video. So again, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Take care.